Good morning, everyone. I'm going to give us a few seconds to get on and get maybe your apparatus if you don't have it. Perhaps ball, band, and circle. We won't need anything like a roller. And if you've got your therapy balls, you can go and grab them. We'll just wait and see how many little bodies that we get on this morning. It's beautiful out there this morning. Sun is shining, blue skies. It's the weekend, which is nice. There's a couple more just rolling in. You could even do this in your pajamas. I was thinking about that. I think it's some hour this morning, maybe 3 or whatever it was. I was thinking, Pilates. Maybe that's a go. You can do that one of the morning ones. If you've got your ball, I'm going to start underneath the foot. We'll wait for all the rest of the little sleepy heads to get going. So we'll open up through the foot, base of the big toe, and just start to move across the foot. And all the way over to our little toe. And start to awaken the foot down towards that outer edge of the other foot. Perfect, into that arch. Feel that foot claw over our ball. And then onto the inner arch of the foot. And maybe even a bit of a roll if you want to from the base of that big toe down into the arch of the foot. See if it's a little bit tight. You can help release it. People's feet might be a little bit funny if they've been working from home and perhaps their choice of shoes down towards the heel. And even the fact that I was thinking, I really wanted to get out and do some grounding and get my feet onto some grass because I don't have any grass here. And I sort of didn't do it because I thought maybe I might get in trouble from someone. Alrighty, over to the other. So people are probably not getting their feet attached to, or bare feet attached to things like grass or the sand. I know they've got big signs here now. They've got big signs on the beach where it says exercise zone only, and up in the park, moving big signs saying exercise only. And I think it's to encourage people, well, one, not to sit on the beach because you can't down that foot, and also to encourage them when they're in like the park area that it's only for exercise, where groups, well, you can only personally sit there if you're going to do some kind of exercise. They only went up yesterday. Good, and then into the inner arch and we'll roll. Still people don't get it. Awesome, and then down to the heel. So sometimes I think it's just because it's here that people all come to congregate and come and drive here to come and do their walks and things like that. But then I was on my Zoom Friday friendship with my girlfriends yesterday, who are most of them all still live there in Peaky, and they said that Gannon's is packed with people walking. Absolutely packed, like way more than it ever is. So I think it's everywhere. I hear all my regular walkers telling me they're finding alternative routes so they can avoid the crowds. Alrighty, feet are done. Here we go, 3 roll downs. Knees are soft. Relax the arms, let them be soft and floppy, ready for 3 of our roll downs where we start with the chin dropping into the chest and folding forward. Get down to the bottom, take a breath in, and as we exhale, we prepare to come up nice and slowly. Remember, when we come up slowly, we want those shoulders to come up and then our head gets to come up. Perfect, and we go again, chin, chest. and fold forward. And just creating a little bit of looseness into the spine. This is really important for us in the morning. The back of the body can be quite stiff. Nice. Let's get one more of these out into the chest. So it is nice to awaken it by just a simple fold forward. You'll start to notice that this will stretch out through the hamstrings, that lower part of the back. So it's all part of that preparation. You know, I call it like priming up the body. Good. When you are ready, let's find our way down towards the mat. And we can start with our neutral spine and pelvis. All our little tools nearby. Awesome. All right, here we go. So arms parallel by our sides, feet are as wide as our hips. Check them out. Let's go chin chest. So we've got that nice long back of the neck, and we are good to go. Flat back and arch back. We use this obviously to find our neutral. That little archy thing happening and that flattening. We've got ourselves a couple more. So I know I always use this to, establish neutral, but it's also a really brilliant warm up of the pelvis and all of the muscles around the pelvic rim. So all this, SIJ, sacroiliac joint, little tendons and ligaments there. And this is just to prep them. Alrighty, good. You know where neutral is. Find it for me. And then how about we do a bit of a scan in and see what's going on, make sure that we've got that nice sort of ideal neutral place. Perhaps the triangle effect, our little own personal spirit level. See how that sits on the pubic bone and the hips. And then have a look at the ribs. Are they opened and flared out, or can we get that corset on and wrap the abdominals in and set the ribs down, but not flatten the back in doing so. Chin's already down towards the chest, so we've got that length there, and ideally we've found all the curves of the spine, the natural inward curve of the lower back, the outward curve of the ribs, the inward curve of the back and the neck. Obviously there's that last one, the head, the outward curve of the head. When you're ready to start on with the breath, prepare on the inhale. Good. And that sinking effect of the navel to spine, breathing it out. Good. Find the breath in to relax. And use the breath out to work. That drawing in and the releasing on the inhale. So let's get a couple more of these going. Breathing out on the exhale to engage the core, and breathing in, knowing that they can soften. Don't forget about that corset that you've still got on. So that's engaging all of the upper abdominal muscles. I've been seeing some great photos of people doing both their Pilates and their yoga. So they're either on their little deck with their computers up, and what else have I seen? When you're ready, exhale, tilt the pelvis back. We're ready to go into our pelvic curl. I've seen lounge rooms. Oh, I've seen garages. I've seen families all doing their little weight session in their garage. And I know that Katie and Luba did me a little thumbs up that they were jumping on this morning. I've seen your little abodes, your little oases. It's nice because you guys get to see me, and if you share me your little pictures, then I get to get a little bit of an image of what things look like in your world too. Awesome, let's get one more of these out. And breathe it out on the way down. Let's change this up. Pull the toes up, dig through your heels. And this next one, exhale, tilt the pelvis back, engage that core, press through your heels. I want you to imagine you're trying to push the mat away from you on this one. Inhale and then exhale, press the mat away. Curl it down slow, don't let this release you quickly. Neutral, inhale, Toes are off. Exhale, press through, push away, and inhale. Breathe it out, keep pressing through the heels. Awesome, stop there, let's go balls of the feet. Lift them up. So now exhale, top back, press through the balls of the feet, curl up slow. Inhale here. Exhale down slow. Let's get 3 more on tiptoes. Now we're pressing down through the balls of the feet. Finding our way up on the breath in. Abs in on the exhale. One last one. Perfect. Back to the right foot back onto the floor and the left leg up to 90. Okay, so this will start us off in our leg lifts. And then bring the right leg up. Lower the left leg down. And then lower the right leg down. We're checking out what's going on in the pelvis here. So exhale, navel to spine, float the first leg. Mindful of not pushing into that mat. Remember on the second lift, float and park. Yep, back on that first one. Back on the second one. Awesome. Let's go again. Exhale, float. Prepare on the second one. Awesome. Lower the first. Lower the second. Let's do one more the same way. Really careful that we're not pressing the back into the floor, or we're not getting that little jiggle, I call it that sort of little shimmy shake as we get that last leg down, that the hips don't do this mini rock side to side. This is absolute stillness in the pelvis. Take it again, exhale left. And then once we get the second one up, let's hang out here. We'll do the hip opener. So open your left leg out and then bring it back in. And do the same with the right leg. It opens out and away whilst my left is super still. Yeah. Give me the same tap back downs again. So we're going to go leg lifts, hip openers. Exhale, leg lifts. Good. Engage the core a little bit more as the other leg lifts. Hold it all still. Open the left. Bring the left in. Open the right. Now we're mindful that the other leg stays still, but we're also really mindful that we're pulling in on the return. Take those legs down. Now the last couple of weeks, or the last week, we talked about the leg pressing into the ball. Let's imagine that that's happening again now as we lift the leg up. Okay, so there's this energy. And then exhale, lift the leg up and park it. Now we're pressing against the ball as the leg opens. And then we're pulling in to that inner thigh. So with absolute intention. And then inhale, we're trying to work against the resistance of the ball, the imaginary ball, and then pulling with the inner thigh. Let's come back and park the leg. Control the legs down. 1, 1. Let's get 2 more sets of these out. So exhale as though we're pulling up with that pressure of the ball. Again, tight tummies, second leg, up and park it. Okay, off we go out to the side, so that resistance, like we're pushing against the ball. And then we're pulling in like a magnet, pulling the leg in. And again, like we're pressing out against that ball. And all that energy of the inner thigh, pulling the leg back to park, one leg at a time, floats down and down. Okay, here we go, last set. Leg lifts, engage that core. Switch it on a little tighter, second leg. Off we go, pushing against resistance. Good, pulling in and parking. And here's our last one. Open. Effort on the way back in. Close, 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 close. Perfect. Leg goes down. Leg goes down. Awesome. Reconfirm that you're still in your neutral. Take your hands behind the back of the head here. And just observe what happens even when you take those hands. Like I can even, and I say that because I just watched myself do it. As soon as I took my hands behind my head, my ribs wanted to just lift up. So mindful that they don't try and do that. And it is only a natural action because of when these arms lift, they activate a lift of the ribs as well. We're just trying to be mindful of not doing that. We will do a leg lift with a chest lift. So as we exhale, we'll go with the right leg, lift it, and we lift the chest. Good. Inhale, lower. Control it. Switch to the other side without pressing that back into the floor. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And again, exhale, lift. So it's just a chest lift with a leg lift. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. All the time keeping that space between the lower back and the floor. Watching that we don't flatten or jam the back into the floor. So my legs are lifting, my pelvis is stable. Curl it, park it. And I've taught us many times why we don't bring that knee into the chest. So if we feel our back flattening into the floor, check out that you haven't done the whole knee into the body action. Okay, so it's up, it stops, and it parks so that we can keep neutral pelvis. Chest lift, leg lift. Awesome. One more in each of those legs. Head goes back down to the floor and we get to have a little rest. How about I get you to bring your band into this next one? If you don't have your band, that's okay. You can still keep your hands behind your head. We'll move into hula. We'll do the same leg lift, but we're going to bring our opposite hand to the knee on this one. So for example, if you didn't have a band, you would do this action for me. Okay. Bandless. Bit of tension there for me on that band. Ribs are contained. As my right leg lifts, my left hand will come across to that knee. Back onto the floor. Right hand, left knee. Don't worry if you get different legs to me. We just know it's my opposite hand coming across to the other knee. So opposite hand to leg, or opposite hand to knee, opposite elbow. Lift and twist. Back to the floor, inhale. Exhale on the twist. Inhale as we lower, exhale on the twist. Perfect. Keep a little bit of tension on that band because you can tell that as we pull on the band, we're also getting some work going on into these arms. So if I pull my back arm behind me, starting to warm up the lats, those armpit muscles. If we have got our band, we're always thinking armpits to hips, never shoulders to ears. One more each way for me, everyone. So we want to be mindful that we're not using those traps. We're using our stabilizing muscles instead. Awesome. There you go. There's a little rest. Let's keep the band. And again, if you don't have one, that's okay. You can still do this without it. It's going to scoot underneath the backs of our legs. This is our little half hundreds where we bend the knees. What we'll do is we'll pull against the tension of the band so it's not flimsy, so you don't hear it doing this on you. So we want a tight band. And if it shakes the back of your legs and that's annoying, yeah, get rid of it. But maybe try to lift up a little bit more and reach your arms away from you more. Okay. So let's hang out here for 100 counts. I'll count us. Breathing in and out. 2 and out. 3 and out. 4 and out. 5 and out. 6 and out. 7 and out. 8 and out. 9 and out. We are almost there. 10 and out. Take a little rest. Knees to chest and hug on in. let's stick with this band. And if you have got one, you're going to give me a little tie up here of the legs. And if you don't, you can maybe do the opposite of this and bring the ball or something of the like a balloon if you don't have a ball. And with this tension, if you do have this kind of band, we're pulling apart, yep, for our legs to go side to side. We often push inwards to use the inner legs. As we press outwards, we are now, you probably feel, using the outer leg muscles through here. Let's say again, if you didn't have this band, you could go back to using the ball or even your hand, okay, as you take the legs side to side. Let's take an inhale, we'll go out to our right. Keep pulling against that tension of the band and exhale, come back. And even if you didn't have a band, you could use any kind of strapping mechanism. So if you had a belt, and pull, pull, pull. Sometimes we just need to get a bit creative with our thinking and see what we can do. We don't have to always go and use the textbook version. I was watching some Facebook post. It was like a sponsored post yesterday, and there was this lady, she was doing weights, and the whole thing was about using like things that you have at home. So she had a whole frying pan in her hand. She was doing doing chest raises. So yeah, that's a bit creative. Get those frying pans out. Awesome. So we're using our waist. And there's a little bit of that active work going on in the legs. Inhale, pull with your waist, exhale, back, 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 and parking right above those hips. So we've always got that core on here. Nice. Let's see if we can get another couple out on this. And we're going to keep adding on. So remember, we always want to keep those shoulders on the floor, and we want to pull back through the ribs, the waist, and then the hips. So coming back, ribs, waist, hips. Ribs, waist, hips. Here's our last side. So over there on that left, inhale. Pull that rib cage back onto the mat. Leave the legs as they are. So whatever structure that you have with them. If you've got a ball between your knees, do that. If you've got this band, stay with that. We are finding a double toe tap, which means we're not necessarily going all the way to the floor because we need to keep neutral. So the breath would be an inhale to go down because we really want that exhale to pull us back up and park. So the inhale helps us go down. We need that exhale to assist in bringing the legs back. Good. Couple more. Inhale. Switch on that core to bring you back. Exhale. Back, 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 and park it. Inhale. Abs switch on for the exhale. Awesome. Keep using all of that effort and that intention when we bring the legs down. So it's like we're not going down in a thud. And when we're coming back, there's this absolute effort to pull the legs back. Last two. Inhale. Navel to spine. Pull back slowly. Stop it and park it. Here's our very last one. Inhale. Awesome. Exhale. Hug. There's your rest. That was hard. All right, let's undo this band. And we get to come up and sit. So if you are ready, take a little rock, come on up. And if you have something that you could press between your knees, e.g. ball, or if you have a circle, grab that for me. Or if you have your balloon. And even if you didn't, you could have anything that was soft, like you could go grab a cushion or something like that. The idea here is to give us the impression of this inward action of the legs. And as you know, that's so that we can work the inner thigh. And obviously also work through our pelvic floor. As we exhale, like a pelvic curl, we're going to roll back. You're going to keep this same amount of tension on the ball. And then on the inhale, we're going to roll back up. So you can see that we've got this rounded back. And then we come back up with a round back, and then we lengthen it. Arms can be anywhere you want them to be. We've got this round back, and then back up to sit. Exhale, round back. Inhale up to sit. Keep the pressure onto your ball. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, back up to sit. And we will change this. Let's take one more of that rounded back. Hold it back here. Little pulses into that ball as we stay with this rounded spine. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. Keep the squeeze, round back up and sit. Take it again, exhale, round the back. Here's where we're going to make a change. Keep the squeeze into the ball. Inhale, straighten the spine. Exhale, come back up. Tilt the pelvis back. Here's my round back. Then I straighten up my back and I come up with a straight spine. Going back with a rounded spine and putting pressure onto the ball. Changing it to a straight spine and then coming back up. Exhale. Pressure on the ball. Square up. Lift up. Again. Exhale, round. Straighten up. Lift up. Take 3 more. Round back, pressure on ball. Straight spine. Up to sit. Exhale, round. Inhale, straighten. Exhale up. Last one. Round back. Straight back. Up to sit. Nice. All underneath the right foot here. It means it's a very light touch. So we're not pressing or loading down into the ball. It's literally hovering, and it's pretty much just stopping us from trying to use too much of these hip flexors. If we didn't have a ball, you could hold and hover it without anything. The ball's actually just giving us a bit of help. From here, breathe out, raise the left leg. Good, and then breathe in lower. So you can see we've got a bit of an angle on the spine. And that's making this more challenging. If I was more upright, first of all, I couldn't lift my leg too much. But again, not too much core being activated. So you'll know how far back you can go. Again, we're very, very conscious of not using the hip flexors. So belly in firm and tight, so I'm not using my legs so much, but I'm really trying to engage that core. We'll go one more. And then we get to wiggle that ball across to the other side. Hinging back, light touch on our ball. Exhale, raise the leg, inhale to lower it. Perfect. 3 more here. 3, 2, one last one, and 1, and come and take a quick rest. The ball returns back to our very first side. Think single leg stretch for me on this one. Single leg stretch means that that leg starts at 90 and it drives itself back out and in. Normally, as you know, we do that on the floor. So I've got my hinge, I've got my leg at 90, I press it out, I pull it back in. I press it out, I pull it back in. So single leg stretch, done seated for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. On to the other side. This is hard, I know. Hinge it back, engage. So I won't say it yet, we'll have a little break, but if you wanted some help thinking, like, I want to do it, but it's a bit tough, you might hold on to this little leg here that's on that ball to give you some assistance. You know what, that's helping me because my arms are giving me some assistance. Otherwise, yep, I am hands-free and the leg is coming in like single leg stretch and pressing back out and away. But yes, I might help myself out by holding on to that leg. For 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Come forward, take a little break. Let's see how we go with the crisscross version in sitting. And again, If we're not comfy with what we're doing in sitting, lie for me. Okay? That would be your single leg stretch, lying. Yeah. Crisscross will be a twist. Yeah. Same deal. Here we go, in an angled spine. Fingertips to temples or hands to the chest, twist, square up, twist, square up. And we have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other side. Twisting to the moving leg, to the moving leg. It could be crisscross arms. 5, 4, 3, twist the waist, 2, one more. Yippee-yi-yi, there we go, done. Single leg stretch, crisscross, double leg stretch with that ball. If we're on our backs, the 2 legs just extend straight out and back in. Angled spine a little bit more challenging. Again, help yourself out if need be. Double legs out, double legs are in. Double legs out, double legs are in. And we have 8, 7, 3, 2, and 1 and in. Let's take a stretch into these hip flexors. Bum up and bum on and stretch. Again, don't worry if you don't have anything like a ball. Get your blocks out, get your books. Just bring the knee in. We know this is going to release and open up through that little joint that wants to become active. Sometimes a little more than it needs to. Alright, we're off the other side. Leg on, pull it in, stretch it out. And particularly, as I said earlier on in class, how we are seeing everyone doing lots more walking. I'm sure you guys probably are too, which is awesome. I'm a huge advocate for that. You know how much I endorse exercise. But in saying that, when people are doing a lot more walking, they may not be doing a lot more stretching. And so just be mindful of that. If you are doing a little bit more walking, make sure you still stretch after, or if you're not doing your yoga, because you can very easily lead to injury because you just do too much. Even of good stuff, you can do too much. Right, that's us there with the ball and stretching. You can keep the ball here underneath the back of the pelvis. That's the pelvic curling. I like having the ball underneath. There's also some, what do I call it? Like it's like a benchmark, because you've got a gauge, you've got a reference. So yes, I am really sitting into this ball. The ball's doing all the work for me. Let's see if I can have less contact on the ball and come all the way up. Okay. So how high up can you get off that ball? And then ever so lightly put a bit of pressure back on, and then lift back up and get that full range off it. So ever so lightly, I've got more contact, press and come back up. Very light touch, press back up. The glutes are having to do a lot more work here because I'm not coming down and resting so much. So push back up, light lift, push back up. 4 more like this. Press back off it. Light touch 3, light touch 2, light touch 1, and rest. Take it as a single leg next time around. Doesn't matter what leg you choose. And again, it doesn't have to be fancy what that leg looks like. It's just not into our chest. Same thing, legless on the floor is doing the lifting is a much different conversation now when it's just one leg. Exhale to lift. Light touch down. Exhale to lift. Light touch down. All the effort, all the work sits here in this leg that we've got left onto the floor, and you can feel, I can feel that hamstring really talking. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Switch it to the other side. So rest is us putting full load back onto the ball. Up goes that leg, get ready, and we are up and up. Again, very subtle tap onto that big ball. We've got 8, 7, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Rest onto the ball, rest your foot back on as we take hold of whatever it might be there underneath this ball, balloon. It'll be a reversing of a curl. That little butt off, butt back on, butt off, butt back on. So again, if we've just got ourselves on our block, we're trying to reverse it. Do it without the ball. You can just reverse the curl. We have 5 more, sending the lower abdominals into action. Last 3, we have 2. Also use your last 1. And we get to put those feet back slowly, one at a time, down there for some relief. Come and lift off for me on this one. Ease back down towards the floor. And if you have a circle, use your circle. We'll take a hamstring switch. If you have your band, use your band. Long leg, pulling down on the band or the circle, pressing out through your heel. Take the band, if you have one, or the circle, or your strap, in the opposite hand to the leg. We're going to bring it across the body for action. This is so that we can open up through the outer line of the leg as well. Now we've worked that outer line of the leg as we've pressed out into it, perhaps our band when we're doing those leg sciatic side to sides here. When we did our hip openers, we were pressing out against an imaginary circle or ball and pulling back in. These muscles, if you've been doing your walking, again, can get really tight. Bring it on back, switch those legs over for me here. And we are stretching through the back of the hamstring now as we take a straight leg here. As we pull the toes down, press out through the heel, we're getting into the calf more. Bringing the leg now across, so holding it with the opposite hand. This is so that the same hand can stabilize us so that we don't fall down and go completely over to this side. If you want to feel it a little bit more down that lateral side of the leg, you turn the leg inwards. So you would rotate the leg in. Continue to press out through the heels, send to the bottom down towards the end of your mat. Bringing the leg back into the center and releasing the leg out from it. If you have an apparatus, either this circle or your ball, okay, you can grab that. What we'll do with this is it's a press here above the chest, okay, as we do our leg circles. Right leg long, left leg up in the air, left leg in, turn out. And a great description of am I in, turn out, for example, if you've got leggings on, can I see this inner seam of the leggings? If I can't, then my leg is probably square. Okay, so I want to be able to see the seam of the leg. As the leg does a circle, one press, the other direction. One press, one circle, one press, one circle, one press. You keep going for me. The idea here is that we've got arms off the floor so we can't anchor down with them. Okay, so this is why I'm giving us the press. Yes, I'm giving you the press also so you get some work into your chest, but I'm also taking away the opportunity for you to use your arms to stabilize you. So we're trying to make sure that the core does all the work. So in saying that, let's just get 2 more of these guys out in each direction. So that's 1 more set, and 1 to go. 1, press, last 1, press. The leg arm comes down. We'll go over to the other side. So in saying that, it could be no different than if I just said to you, take your arms up in the air. Yeah. But if I get you to press, I'm also getting you to do some strength work as well. Long left leg, right leg in its turn out, check out the seam. Legs in, turn out, more butt, more glute. 1 circle, 1 direction. Park it, press it. Circle, press. Other way, and press. Now I don't know about you, but I am noticing that I'm a little bit better on one side than I was on the other. Not that that's anything for me to be concerned about necessarily, but it is an interesting observation. Wow, I feel like I want to roll everywhere on this side, and I have to be very mindful of keeping that core in super tight on this side than I did on the other side. Because I find if on this one, I want to really wriggle and wobble around. I also need to anchor a bit more down on that leg that's on the floor to give me stability. 4 more. Yep, and a little press. 3. With a press. 2. Good. 1 last one. There's your press. Leg lengthens down. Awesome. Take the circle again for me if you've got it. If not, if you have your band. If you don't have your band, find your strapping mechanism. I love one of the girls, and I think I told, it was a yoga class. We're doing strap work, and I was thinking, oh, what can people use? Press through the circle, head, shoulders up. We're going to come up to sit. And I don't know what came over me, but I said, oh, you know what you could use? You could use your tie that you have in your dressing gown, like, because it's long. So I was thinking, what would you have that's long if you didn't have a belt? Or sometimes we have frocks, that have like a really long tie for the waist. So one of the girls messaged me to say, I used my bathrobe or my dressing gown strap, and the kids all thought it was an absolute joke, so they were taking photos of me. I said, they're just jealous. But it still works, and that's all that matters. It's always helpful, this one, with some mechanism to assist us, e.g. the dressing gown belt, or we can have less hold of it. So it doesn't matter really what we're using. It's a mechanism to assist. It's not making it any more challenging. Awesome, let's get 1 more of these out and then we get to switch sides. Ease down with control. Get ready to switch it on over. And come on up. Exhale. Breath out to lower down with that ease and control. Breathing in at the bottom. Breathing out, curl up, chin, chest, core, up to sit. See if we can get another 3 out on this leg. You get a little more fatigued on that second side because even though they are different legs, it's not really the leg that's doing the work. It really is that core that's doing the work. So naturally, second time round, it's tired. 2, 1 last one. Awesome, and we're up to sit. Let's stay once again here sitting. Collect either circle or ball. Sits here at the chest. We'll twist to our right with a double press. As you come back into the center, stay here, but take it like a halo and give me the same press. Bring it back into the chest, twist to the left, come back to the center, create the halo, press, press. Thinking always as we work through this, my armpits are pulling down to my hips, particularly on this one, the halo. Twist, twist, come back to center, halo. Twist, twist, center, halo. Take 2 more here. Twist, twist. Halo. Press, press. Watching these legs don't move on us. 1 more each way. Double twist, center. Halo overhead. Twist out to the left. Finish it off with a halo. Awesome. And back down. Good. If you have, again, ball or circle, you can use it as we head down towards the floor on our bellies. If you didn't have that, anything that can give you some height, for example, your blocks, your encyclopedias. All right, here we go. This sits in front. Hands go on top. Again, this could be my ball as well. It's really just a mechanism to press into to give us some height of the arms, so that on my inhale I lift up out of those arms, so my head's not between my arms now, and on the exhale my head goes down between the arms. So inhale, and the idea of this is that the back goes into that extension. So my yoga people, you'll think of it as I'm going into cobra pose, and then I'm just going down to lie flat onto the floor. So my bottom's not working, my glutes aren't working, my legs aren't trying to flip up off the floor. I'm purely working through these back muscles. It will be an inhale for the lift, and it'll be an exhale to lower us back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So these are awesome exercises. And again, even if I didn't have any apparatus, I could simply be having my hands underneath my forehead and lifting and lowering back down. And these build strength in the upper back muscles, particularly we call them the erector spinae. They run down the length of the back, but they are so important for our posture, so that we don't look like we're, say, like the hunchback of Notre Dame, all sort of crunched over. 2, and 1 more. And 1. Perfect. Let's take a little rest here. Just hands underneath the forehead. You might give me a little shimmy shake with these hips. And then as the hips rest here, bring the knees to bend. I'm going to, we can take the legs wide. So think wide legs as in, say, a butterfly kind of position. Soles of the feet can touch. It's not crucial that if they're not flat enough to touch, that's okay. We're trying to use now the glutes, and also now we are going to ask the lumbar, but intentionally asking them. My pelvis is parallel to the floor, so that's how I know I'm in neutral. And the idea here is the 2 thighs are going to try to lift off the floor, and they're going to lift off the floor via the use of these bum muscles. So lift them and lower them, lift them and lower them. As you do it, watch that you don't try and lift your upper body and your arms and your shoulders. So it's not about the upper body now. It's having a holiday. It's the lower part of the body that's now working. So lift, lower, lift, lower. We'll hang out here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Legs can go down and wriggle back in so that they're parallel to one another. Take the right arm out in front. Leave your left hand here underneath your head. We're thinking opposite arm and leg. Right arm, left leg. And down. Right arm, left leg. Squeeze into the glutes. Draw your shoulder down away from your ears. Armpits to hips. Lift and lower. Good. 8, and we're on the other side. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Hands under. Shimmy, shimmy, shake of those hips. This just gets some life back into that lumbar as well for you, because we do often get that, I guess, that overwork effect. Right hand under forehead, left hand out in front. So it's going to be left leg, up, left arm, right leg. Off we go. So my left foot's anchoring me down. So my left foot and toenails are pressing down into the floor. We have 8 on this side to go. So 8 and lower. 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. All right, shimmy shake. Knees at 90. We're going to do windscreen wiper legs this time. It's a beautiful way to release through that sacrum. So windscreen wipers, swish, swish, side to side. Perfecto. Legs back long, hands to chest, push up into child's. Again, give yourself that opportunity to stretch out through your lower back. Push your hands not only down into your mat, but forward, like you're trying to make your mat longer. Get back to hands and knees. Choose either your ball, your balloon, or your circle. I think people are more likely to have a ball or a balloon for the knees to squeeze into, whatever it might be. Thinking now we're on all fours. What will I call this? Like a knee, I call it a knee hover, but it's like being in like a cat-cow position. And we're just going to try and hover the knees off the floor, but squeeze into the ball. Good. And then you'll lower the knees softly back on. Breathe out, belly up and in. Lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Can you hear them telling all those naughty people in the beach over the big PA? Three, 2, and 1. Good. Have a quick rest. Because just in case you couldn't read signs, we're going to tell you as well, because obviously you're not listening. Someone said to me the other day, oh, how often do you hear it? It's probably about every hour. People just need a little friendly reminder. Alrighty, get ready for the straight leg hover. Straight leg hover. Now let's say that's way too strong. We're just going to do the little lift hover again. It's up to you. So basically you'll see we're in plank, knee plank, plank, knee plank. 5 more, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and come back, take your rest. This time around, we'll spend a little more time doing some pulses with it. So either way, even if you're hovering, you're going to pulse for me, or if we're going to go into full plank. So it's your choice. Do you do a knee hover, or do you do that full plank? And we're going to press inwards. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to rest. That would be the front door. Good. Alrighty, let's do a little glute stretch. I'm hoping, come on down, that it is my new router. Yep, Brett says it is. Come on up. So hopefully we don't get this buffering. So when you see the video and it sort of fades in and out and I go all hazy, it's because every man his dog's on the computer, we know that. And if I'm in different spots, it can be worse. Change the legs. So the Wi-Fi router is just up there a little bit. So it's not too bad down here, but if I go right down the back, where you see me with my, like with the lights aiming down, and that's what I call the back, it's a bit hard for the internet to find me. So we're thinking that this might be the solution, that you put these little boxes that they're called a mesh router. I am learning so much. The mesh router. I sound like I'm really knowledgeable, but I'm not. Awesome. Let's bring these to chest. Take a little twist down to your right. So you get three. We get these three little mesh routers. They're like a little white box. They're either white or black. And you plug them into the power, and then supposedly they read this router. We'll see. Stay tuned. There you go, we've got something to do today. Get the router working. It could take all day. Bring them in, get off to the other side. Supposedly there's an app you download. The man at JB Hi-Fi said it was really easy. He didn't know he was talking to me. That's alright, we'll give it a go. We were lucky to get it because like basically everything involved in technology doesn't exist anymore. Everyone's bought it all, so it wasn't easy to get. Alrighty, knees into the chest. We are ready to do a little rock up to stand. So take your time. Oh, we're nearly done. Alrighty, here we go. So. Soft knees, relax those arms, take a breath in. Breathe out, chin to chest. It's so important to finish off with a stretch, particularly in this capacity, a little nod forward and back of the head, just to release any sort of build-up of tension that might have happened, by us sort of holding onto the back of the head, say, or sort of pulling the neck forward. Go side to side for me as well. And then when we get back into the center, take the breath in. And we're then ready for our exhale to bring us up nice and slowly. So just unravel, unstack and replace. Shoulders first, head comes second. Awesome. Well, you guys have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy it. The sun is out, so get some vitamin D. Vitamin D is what we was doing all this research on, building immunity and how can we help ourselves in this current climate. Vitamin D is one of the biggest minerals that they say is important for building the immune system. You can take it orally, but then you have to take another vitamin, I think it's K or something, to combine with it. But the best is getting out into the sunshine. So enjoy the sun. It's mild, so you don't have to worry too much about those UVs, and enjoy the glorious morning that we have. And if you're a yogi, you're going to see me in about half an hour. Otherwise, have an awesome Sunday too. Maybe it's a day of rest. So thanks for joining me this morning, everyone. Take care until I see you, my Pilates people, next Wednesday morning. Signing off.